New York City, a metropolis that has always built itself upward, chasing the sky. But beneath that upward ambition lies another world, as intricate and alive as the skyline above. Deep below the surface stretch tunnels of darkness, rusted rails, and the forgotten arteries of engineering. And within this hidden labyrinth, right in the heart of Manhattan, rests a silent platform, Track 61, beneath the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Most New Yorkers have never even heard its name, yet some of the most powerful figures of the 20th century once arrived here, unseen, unnoticed. The story of Track 61 begins in the 1910s, during the construction of Grand Central Terminal. While designing its colossal infrastructure, engineers thought not only of the trains of their day, but of those yet to come. Amid the dozens of tracks that lay beneath the terminal, Track 61 was built differently, not for passengers, but for access. Years later, when the Waldorf Astoria rose above those foundations in 1931, the hotel's owners and architects saw an opportunity. What if we built a secret entrance, a direct connection between the hotel and Grand Central below? And so Track 61 was reborn, a place where luxury, privacy, and power converged. In that era, New York was the center of the world. Diplomats, heads of state, and millionaires flooded into the city daily. But some guests needed to move unseen, away from flashing cameras, crowded stations, and prying journalists. Track 61 was the answer. A train could roll directly beneath the Waldorf Astoria, and a private freight elevator would lift guests discreetly to the hotel's lower levels. No one on the streets above ever noticed, because the movement was all underground. The most famous passenger ever to use Track 61 was, without a doubt, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Afflicted by polio and confined to a wheelchair, Roosevelt sought to hide his condition from the public eye. In the 1940s, when the president visited his private suite at the Waldorf Astoria, he would arrive through the hidden platform below. His armored train would glide silently into Track 61. Inside, his Pierce Arrow limousine would be rolled directly onto the rails and lifted up through a special elevator into the hotel. While Roosevelt ascended unseen, the crowds above carried on with their lives, unaware that history was unfolding just meters below their feet. In that moment, architecture became a stage, not to deceive, but to preserve dignity. Over the decades, countless stories have been told about Track 61. Some claim that General Pershing once entered New York through it in secret. Others whisper that in the 1960s, Andy Warhol and his circle used the space for underground art parties. Documented evidence is scarce, yet these tales have transformed Track 61 into part of New York's living mythology. Its allure lies not only in who may have used it, but in what it represents. A space neither entirely forgotten nor entirely active, a monument to the possibility of secrecy itself. Architecturally, Track 61 stands as a graceful extension of Grand Central's underground design. Concrete arches, heavy steel columns, and high ceilings embody early 20th century engineering at its finest. The rails are still there. The platform could still host a train, though now it welcomes nothing but silence. When the Waldorf Astoria entered major restoration in 2017, Track 61 resurfaced in conversation. Architects sought to preserve its structure while weaving it into the hotel's historical identity. Today, it remains locked, accessible only by special permission. But it is there, still breathing quietly beneath the city. Track 61 perfectly captures the paradox of New York, a city defined as much by its secrets as by its spectacle. Every grand facade hides a mystery. Every corner echoes another era. Track 61 reminds us that architecture is not only what we see, it is the art of what remains unseen. The stories behind the walls, the pathways beneath our feet, the mechanisms that move silently in the dark. Today, those who walk across the Waldorf Astoria's marble lobby see only brilliance and light. But beneath that marble, the old rails still lie in place, perhaps rusted, perhaps forgotten, yet filled with the echoes of history. Track 61 is more than a railway platform. It is where power, architecture, and secrecy intersect. And maybe that is the true spirit of New York, a city where, even when everything is visible, something hidden still survives.